My name is Jackson Parker, and today I would like to talk about to the general public about the importance of mental health storylines, how it can help us have someone to relate to, and how it can give us a source of motivation. The way an audience views a story can change the way we act or think, but sometimes for the better, as it can help us adapt to certain situations and help our mindsets and the way we react to things solely based off of a character or a plot. Stop and think about this. Let's say we have someone named David. David has been feeling really, really down lately, you know, missing work, not doing assignments, staying in bed, having no motivation. He's spending more time overthinking about things he simply cannot control instead of actually doing things he can control or being productive. All of this, which of course being, traits of depression and sadness. And David just happens to discover a TV show where he comes across a character who has depression, who has similar events going on as David. Maybe it's not the exact same as David, but they are still very similar. And David gets motivated by that character to actually reach out and get therapy. And in that case, this would be great that David discovered that because David now has a source of motivation and a relation to a character. A central statement of mine is that mental health is a serious issue going all around the world. And by exploring this in storytelling, the audience can have someone to relate to, can become more motivated, and become more inspired. Let's look back at David, for example, right? David related to the character. David got motivated to actually go and do therapy. David, as well, is now very well possibly being inspired to send this message to others, show that character to others, show that show to others. Motivation, inspiration, and relation are three important things, especially when you're going through something like depression. Shit. Whether it's a movie, a show, a story, the way of mental health is portrayed in these things can change a person's life. It sure changed David's. I have a couple of subpoints that I would also like to go over. The first thing is about how a college student that had bipolar disorder was basically given up on life and was wanting things to end, but discovered a love and a passion for memoirs. And these memoirs were similar things that were going on to her situation, sort of like going back to David. And it motivated her, and now and it inspired her. She actually writes her very own memoirs, and this is actually by Amy Yu. Another is a story by Brianna Vittens, and spoke with Dr. Shern about how psychological theater can give audience role models, which is another thing because we all need a role model, and especially if you're going through something and somebody helps bring you out of that and gives you hope and inspiration back, they definitely would be a role model. And they also can install hope. We hope, that there is better, it does get better. And all these, a link to these articles will be in the description below as well. I will be sure to put that in there. Another is about how, what if someone with PTSD was to write a story about PTSD? This would bring real emotions and would bring more realistic experiences into that story and could help someone even more and even more realistically than they could have before. So at the end of the day, my message to everyone is the general public is the importance of mental health storylines is very serious. It's very important because it can help people express emotions and it can inspire them to go beyond and above no matter what's going on, what life throws at them, and it can help change their mindset. My name is Jackson Parker. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.